Hello, thank you for watching The Political Vigilante. I am Graham Elwood, and that is the Dark Knight photo with the blue light. Thank you guys for supporting independent media. The link for my Patreon is below, and if you do it before the first of the month, all the cards are charged on the first of the month, so if you do it right before the first, then you start getting rewards immediately. Because that's how Patreon does it. They charge you on the first of every month, and then once all that goes through, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 days for all the clear, and then the money's transferred. Then I can start giving out all the rewards, like articles and stuff that you guys recommend. The $10 level, you get bonus video. I'm going to hopefully start doing a podcast soon and release that out there. So I really appreciate you guys coming and checking this out so we can grow the show from more than just me sitting here talking to like a studio and do more clips and stuff like that. I want to talk about the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, which is a great not-for-profit organization. I'm going to put a link to what I'm going to talk about today below. It's at their website, IAVA.org. It's a great organization to support. And what they have started is a campaign to recognize female veterans, because I don't know if you know this, over 345,000 women have deployed since 9/11. That's a significant number. And they are taking on new roles. They're taking on combat positions and all different kinds of stuff. And what is happening is, well, first of all, the IAVA is talking about this, and I agree. I've talked about this before. The VA, the Veterans Administration, needs to drastically improve the care of all veterans, without a doubt. It got pretty bad under Obama, so much so that a vet set themselves on fire to prove a point, and wait times. And some VAs did a decent job, but many, it's awful and needs to be fixed. So it's even more critical for women veterans. I'm going to read this statistic. The number of women seeking care at the Department of Veterans Affairs has increased by 80%. While the VA has created a firm foundation of care for women veterans, it is past time that the VA, with the support of Congress, bring that foundation to scale. Literally, there's a quote from Abraham Lincoln, which at the time made sense because women weren't allowed to serve. And there's a motto, and it's outdated, it needs to be changed, right when you're greeted at the door of the VA, that says, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan. So that needs to be changed. And they've done a study, the IAVA, 27% of people surveyed, 27% of women feel like the public understands the contributions that women make in the military. So they've started the She Who Born the Battle campaign. And one of the things they're doing is they're introducing the Deborah Simpson Act has been introduced into the Senate. And I just found out who Deborah Sampson. So Deborah Sampson joined the Continental Army in 1782. She was a woman, but disguised herself as a man, and was wounded in battle, and spent like her whole lifetime trying to get recognition for that, because she wasn't allowed to join the military. Women weren't allowed to join the military in 1782, and she said she was a man and got wounded. So they're calling this the Deborah Sampson Act. And so what this article below from the IVA goes into the detail, and there's some great clips here from the IAVA Chief of Staff, Allison Jaslow, who is obviously a vet, testifying before Congress, and it's calling on representatives. So the Deborah Simpson Act is Bill S-681. And so what I encourage you to do is look at this and do some research, and then this is something you can petition your lawmakers to do. And currently, I didn't know this, there are only 2 women veterans in the House of Representatives, Martha McSally, Republican from Arizona, and Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat from Hawaii, who I've mentioned before. So it's moving forward in the Senate according to this, and it's a great thing for you who watch this show to get involved and petition your lawmakers, and you'll see a long act of all the Senate bill co-sponsors. It's Democrats and Republicans, and the House co-sponsors. And if one of your representatives is on this list, call them and say, thank you for supporting this. If they're not, absolutely call your representatives and say, you need to support the Deborah Sampson Act for sure. And you can go to house.gov and senate.gov if you don't know. I've said this before. It's been a while, though. But for those of you who don't know this, you can research. You put in your address. It tells you what your district is. It tells you who your representative is, and it tells you who your senators are. So highly support this bill. We just had Memorial Day. And I can tell you, I met some amazing soldiers and Marines that were women when I was over there. One of the first tours I was on in Afghanistan, we had a Marine Corps woman who was our guide. And I remember I saw several Marine women do this. They're these badass Marines, but they still have nice nails, and they pull out this just wicked hunting knife, and they're like cleaning their nails with it. And I did a brief interview with her in my concert video, Live from Afghanistan, which is on Netflix. I intercut interviews between performing stand-up. I have two projects. I have Afghanistan, which is the documentary of going over there, and you'll see some female soldiers interviewed, like Lieutenant Linda North, who helped us a lot, and a Marine. And I've met all different types of women, who many of whom are now vets. I don't know if they're active duty, and it was their sacrifice is very unique, and the stuff they got to go through, obviously it's very male heavy. They deal with a lot. They take a lot of shit, more than the male soldiers do. So this is an excellent thing for all of you to support. The link is below, and IAVA.org is a fine organization to support anyway. So, and you can support this show too. If you have to make a choice, support the vets. If money's tight, support the vets. That I cannot be more emphatic about. I appreciate you supporting the show. If you can support both, great. But if you got to choose, if money's tight, and I understand about money being tight, and you got to pick one or the other, go the IAVA over the political vigilante. So thank you so much for watching the show, and let's make Gotham great again.